We have been developing, my company called Laburnum Networks has spent the last 9 months developing a product that has focus for a lot of different industries. But the first industry that we're targeting is the seniors market. Hopefully by the end of our discussion you'll understand a little bit more why we're targeting it. Certainly by the time we're finished you'll understand what the product is. Unfortunately there's nothing for sale. It's still something that's in development. It probably, if everything goes well, it won't hit the market for around a year from now. The product is fairly complex and has a lot of different features, and that's part of the reason that we want to have this focus group. We're going to be having a series of these located throughout the country, and you guys are the first ones, so thank you for putting up with the mistakes and blunders that happened today. But at any rate, the agenda that we're going to follow, if the computer will, we already had some pizza and snacks. We're going to have a little discussion where I'm trying to get feedback from you. Before I tell you what our product is, there are some just general information that I'd like to understand. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of what we call the Echo Companion. That's the name of the product, at least for now. And then at the end, I have a questionnaire, which is really the meat of what we're trying to get to. The whole concept began because of some problems that have been that the U.S. has been having with its healthcare system. As most of you are aware, our population is getting older. There's around 100 million people with chronic diseases. A chronic disease is a disease that is defined by one that lasts more than 3 years. In many cases, the chronic diseases go on for the balance of the person's life. You couple that with a life expectancy that is 78 years, which is the highest in U.S. history, and is expecting to get longer, fortunately. There's an increasing unhealthy population in the U.S. We have a lot of people who are obese, and that trend is continuing. And something that I didn't know until I got into this industry, there's a decrease in the number of primary care physicians. So you put all of that together and you have the making of a perfect storm in healthcare. So we started looking at those problems and we wanted to see what solutions were out there. And one of the solutions that we kept on hearing about was home health care. Now, the more I looked into home health care, I kept on hearing about all the obstacles to home health care, and the biggest obstacle was that the federal government has not made any incentives for physicians or pharmaceutical companies or medical device companies or anyone in the industry or the insurance companies primarily, to encourage home health care. So while everyone agrees that home health care has a potential to help solve this pending crisis, there's nothing in the works that's going to materially impact it. We then started hearing a lot about something that is called wellness. Now, wellness was a term to me that sort of meant alternative medicine. Now, that was a term that used to be popular, but in the term that I'm going to be using it today, and sort of the popular way it's being used today, it really means the way that we care for ourselves to keep ourselves generally healthy. It means how much physical activity do we do? Do we sleep soundly? Do we have good health habits when it comes to sleeping? Is our environment safe? Not only the environment of the air we breathe, but the environment outside our doors. Is there a lot of crime? Things of that nature. Mental stability. There's an awful lot of mental health problems in our country, and it's getting worse. All of these factors are what we call wellness, or what's defined as wellness. And the product that we put together is something that's focused towards not only the wellness aspect that I've described, but also the safety. How you are in your homes and how you are outside of your homes. So with that, and before I say too much about the product, I'd like to just get a dialogue going. How many people here have used the pendant devices in your homes? Or how many of you are familiar with these devices that if you fall, you push a button and it dials a phone number and calls?
They have them advertised on TV.
How many people have them?
I have,
Okay, anyone else?
Nobody doesn't use it, or wear it, or have it.
That's part of the point.
It's
Mark.
an
got
it's
well.
a big part of the problem.
Right.
I got
That's
well.
part of most of the point.
Why don't you use it?
I forget to put it on.
Okay.
But you're right, there's one that you hang around your neck, and there's one I have on my wrist, so I've got both.
But you don't use them.
I do. But
Now, has anyone ever taken a fall in their house?
Many times.
Okay, just about everyone. Okay, that's interesting. What did you do when you fell? Were any of you fall to the point at which you couldn't get assistance?
Yes,
Okay, what did you do?
I laid there and struggled, and after a couple of hours, I was able to pick myself up. I can't pick myself up unless I have something to hold on to. It took me 3 hours
Wow.
on one occasion.
Anyone else?
I laid in the bathtub for 4 hours till somebody came home and got me.
I wonder who
Who
that
was
was. Has anyone ever had an accident, a fall outside, instead of not in their house, outside, walking down the street? Yeah, okay, I know Zena did. I was there for that one too. What kind of falls?
I'm klutz, so I've had a few of them. I've fallen off a curb and broken my ankle.
Were you alone?
Yep. And then I fell in a parking lot that was uneven.
And
Someone was there to help pick me up.
in both cases?
Yeah, I fell in my house too. And I was alone then, and I waited for about a half hour till I could drag myself over to her phone. I mean, it was years ago.
Now, if you had a device that were able to summons help, like the device that you were talking about that you had to push a button, but it worked indoors and outdoors. Well, let me ask you, you had a device that you don't wear indoors. If it worked outdoors, would you be inclined to wear that?
Much better,
But would you wear it?
I guess.
Be honest.
I guess
Be
you
honest.
would. When I fell, Terry, and when I fell in Florida, if I didn't have a companion with me, I mean, I would have been laying there. I couldn't move.
Why would you, if you had the option of having a device when you fell, is it something that you would have liked to have had at that time? Is it something that you wish you had now?
I would have liked to have had something, but I can say that I think that people are embarrassed to wear them if they're big and don't always, I think they avoid using them for that reason.
It's like a stigma.
It is, there is a stigma. Now I'm more comfortable because I always have a cell phone with me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm climbing up on something or going into the garage and nobody's home and I'm alone, I take my cell phone.
Now,
So-
in the accidents that we were talking about just now, if you had a cell phone, were you in a physically good enough condition to be able to have used the phone?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.